In this video, I'm going to be able to show and tell you everything you need to know about wall painting. I just happen to have the opportunity. I'm going to cover up a couple dark accent walls with a light color. I know I'm a 35-year finish carpenter, but in my younger days, I did some professional painting. I could have you painting like a pro. It's real easy. Plus, I got my family reminding me I should show what I know. So here we go. So I highly recommend the 2.5-inch Purdy Pro Extra Glide with nylon and polyester bristles. So I like to use the 9-inch roller with 1/2-inch nap, and anything with the words wool or knit fibers in it is what you want to use. And I'm always using my 4-inch mini roller. And the best ones are microfiber 3/8 nap. All right, you guys, this is everything you need for your paint setup. I got my Home Depot bucket. I got a nice roller handle. Doesn't hardly have any bend in it. I got my 9-inch sleeve on there. I got a 1-foot extension on the handle. My bucket screen. Now, when you go to buy one of these bucket screens, make sure it's got a solid frame across the top. It'll last almost forever. I keep my 4-inch roller back there. Always keep the paint stick handy. And I got my 2.5-inch brush back here. Notice my brush hook. So if you don't have the proper brush hook that screws in, I just pounded a little finish nail in the brush, bent it over with a pair of pliers, and it works like a charm. This is all you need for your whole paint job. You got your wet rag. This way, if you get paint on anything, you can just simply wipe it off and try again. You got your 5-in-1 tool and your painter's tape. And you got your drop cloth runner. What I like to do is pick a side, put colored pieces of tape on the back side. This way, if you get paint on the side you're working on, you have to bunch this up to move it somewhere. You'll never get confused, and lay the wet side down. Ready to do some painting, puppy? So anytime you're cutting in, I'm only using about 1 inch on an angle of the tip of this brush. Okay, I like to put a fair amount of paint on the brush. Wipe it off on the wall along where you're going to be cutting in. Make sure there's nothing on the tip, and I'll show you. Yeah, you never want to see this, any buildup on your brush. Wipe it off. And just using that part of the tip, I'll go straight across and nothing's dripping off. And then when you need a little bit more paint, you come back and get some more of that you put on the wall. And continue as far as you can without dipping your brush back into the bucket. So once again, wipe any excess paint off on the wall. Start with a small portion of your tip. Press a little harder. Get about an inch and a half of bristles going. And you can feather it in. Take all the brush marks out of it. When you're on your 2-step ladder cutting in everything on the top, bring your corners down low enough to where you can reach them from the floor. And any chance you get when you're not cutting it around trim, use your brush flat to get it back in shape so you're not wearing out the angle of your brush. And then just bring your corner cut-ins down to the baseboard. So we're going to start with the baseboard, and I'm going to show you one problem we can run into. Because stained wood is not caulked to the wall, there's usually one tiny little gap between the base and the drywall. So sometimes it looks like this, where the paint looks like it wants to fill the gap or does not want to fill the gap. I'll show you how to fix it. I use a 5-in-1 painting tool, and I use the point. And you can drag it right across, pardon the shadow. You get it right in the corner of the base in the wall, and it'll take that little bit of discrepancy off. And you could use that method on all types of wood trim, unless it's caulked, because I don't tape any of my trim, I do it freehand, so you can use that 5-in-1 to clean it up. Because I know from years ago, anytime you do tape off trim, you still get that effect where it kind of bleeds through and it looks like you have paint on your trim anyway. Now that I know all my cut-ins look great, now I'll tape it off to avoid roller splatter. So carefully along the top edge, I use little pieces at a time. I'll roll up a piece of tape and stick it underneath to keep the tape sticking out. Now I can slide a drop cloth runner tight to the wall right underneath the tape. So I just want to point out, when you see me painting my sections, I'm painting from my right to my left. And I usually do 6 to 8 foot sections at a time. But with that being said, we're going to be back rolling with this handle side of the roller. So any chance you get, put paint back on the wall in this direction so you're not constantly wearing out this end of the roller. So I like to split the upper and lower walls so your paint consistency stays thick on the whole wall. Right now I'm doing small sections so I can show you the back rolling. Okay, so I'm going to show you 3 examples for back rolling. So let's just call this whole section right here my full wall, top to bottom. So I'll start at the top with my roller. I'll come straight down. Always in the direction with your handle side. You bring that up on the angle about the width of the roller. Straight down again. Up on that angle. Straight down again. So on and so forth. That way this side of the roller is always feathering out your roller marks and you end up with a glass finish wall. I'm getting fresh paint on my roller, but I'm rolling any excess off on the wall. Now I'll start back rolling. Now I'll just repeat the process and start another section. And with your roller at the top coming straight down, just continue your back rolling where you left off. I'll wait just about a half an hour and start the same procedure with the second coat. And with the second back roll, you'll find that it's perfect coverage, all in the same afternoon. And the 4-inch roller works great in all your more narrow spaces. On this particular wall, I want everything yellow, so I'm painting the inside of my cold air returns and that 2x4 in the middle, and then I'll paint my grill cover yellow also. I also use my 4-inch roller at the tops and bottoms to get out any uneven roller marks. So here's our finished product, and the pale yellow is the best on a sunny day. And here's the olive green color that was covered in another part of the house. So for a long time I've been using Pittsburgh Ultra paint and primer in one, and I've never had any problems. So make sure you look for a separate video from me, and I'll show you how to clean your paint supplies the right way to make them last for years to come.